And welcome in, everybody. I hope you are all enjoying a nice Sunday. And welcome to another podcast live stream. We are recording today episode number 24 of my podcast. And the end of another month. So July 31st today. And I have to say the news drought has started now a bit. So I was actually at first having issues to find enough topics, but there were some interesting developments last week, which we can actually talk about during the episode. And let's give you a sneak peek in regards to the topics. I think that was this one. Yes. So topics for today will be more news on Apple switching their devices to USB Type-C. Then there are rumors about an additional SKU in regards to M2 processors. So currently we have the M2 that will probably, same as with the M1, be the M2 Pro, M2 Max, and the M2 Ultra. And it seems like for the Mac Pro there will be an M2 Extreme. Then we have some smaller updates in regards to VR headsets, the Pico Neo and the MetaQuest 2. Then there is a interesting development in Indonesia that needs to be pointed out and needs to be discussed because they, due to the law, they just started blocking major service providers like Google, Amazon, Valve with Steam, and so on and so forth. And then a topic that I found interesting because I came across it multiple times during my professional doings. There was now an announcement that Google is pushing out the phase out of third-party cookies to 2024, and I'm going to discuss this because this is already in effect since March of 2020 for Safari. So basically all iPhone browsers, iPad browsers, Safari on Mac. And it seems like even till today not all web developers know that. And we're going to close with the topic that just seemed to be starting citing Wikipedia in rulings, which for me is a very questionable thing to do, and we will get into more on that when we get to that topic during the recording. And as always, you will find all the links to all the articles linked in the show notes, and you can get those under that URL. It's just posted in chat, so that you can grab all the article URLs if you want to read up on certain topics. And So yeah, and a few updates in regards to myself. So my streaming schedule, I will be basically, except for the podcasts, I will be clearing it after today's show because I don't know yet how my new schedule will be, because I'm starting a new job tomorrow, and yeah, I have to see how everything works out, and then we will find a new schedule based on how everything will be going. Therefore, I will basically remove everything and we start off clean, basically, except for the podcast every 2 weeks. So definitely I'll be back on the 14th of August with another podcast live stream. I'm really happy about keeping the schedule with the 2 weeks going since November, and I hope that I will be able to keep that. So let's see, we are 8 minutes in, giving a bit more time for people to join in. Another thing, I am actually approaching with the Twitch channel the 50 subscriber mark. According to the Twitch UI, when you look at the channel, when you're on the website, it says 47, but in regards to the eligibility for the next for the partner tier, it says 46 for some reason. I don't know why. So I'm going by what's reported there, so not the live counter that you see on Twitch. So, but once we basically reach that official milestone, I am definitely going to do a longer stream where we will probably have some VR sessions, some other games, so probably, don't know, probably a day of streaming or so, whenever that will happen, but that's definitely something that I'm planning, so that we have a milestone to celebrate. And yeah, but basically reaching that point within a year is pretty nice, I have to say. It's I was not expecting that, so for everyone who has subscribed, thank you very much for following. And yeah, I will try to keep the content coming, and yeah, we're now at the 10-minute mark, so I think we can get started with the podcast itself, because that's actually it in regards to updates that I have for you right now. So only problem is you will probably, because I have my AC installed in my window here, you will probably, it could be that you hear some noises from outside. So I am sorry about that. I can't change that in an easy way right now, or I would have to uninstall everything. And since it's getting warm again in the next few days, I am not doing that. Okay, let's dive into it then. Let me pause the music. Let's switch scenes. Welcome in oh, I actually don't know how to pronounce your name. Dabezami. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm just going to I'm not going to basically fix my window being open, because I have a D-Bass for me. Okay, So no lead speak. Okay, I get it. Thanks for correcting me. No, I was just mentioning that there might be outside noises, which I cannot eliminate because I have my AC installed in my office window, and yeah, it's nice. Yeah, I have to see when my next Saber session will be. I mentioned that earlier that I am starting a new job tomorrow, and I have to see what my new schedule will be. Yeah, I know how that is. I a few days back, I think on Monday or on last Friday. I don't. I think last Friday. No, the Friday of past week. I played Beat Saber also at 27-degree room temperature. Was only doable with a fan running. Yeah, I have the same problem. Yeah, but I'm living straight under the roof and on the seventh floor, and in a concrete building. So that's if it's gets hot for a few days, the concrete stores a lot of the heat. So that's contributing a lot to that. So yeah, for before we get started with the live recording. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I have 1 by 1 meter closet where I have a small rack installed with where I have my NAS, my home server, and networking gear and so on in it, and I actually have to open the glass door of the closet so it doesn't overheat when it's getting above 30 degrees outside. Well, I have to update that Pimax promo message actually, because that offer is not valid anymore. But they currently have another offer going, a summer sale. So yeah. Nevertheless, let's get started with the recording. Let me actually get up my intro notes. This is episode 24. 31st. Okay, perfect. So that I know where to start cutting the edited version, I am triggering our countdown again. Let me actually get that.
Three, two, one, zero.
And welcome to my technology podcast. I am your host, Bastian Noffer, and this is episode number 24, recorded live on July 31st, 2022. I hope everyone had awesome 2 weeks and is well during these trying times. For everyone watching or listening for the first time, this show is recorded as part of a live stream on Twitch and YouTube and might not be as polished as a pre-recorded podcast, and it might contain reactions to the live chat. And I have some interesting topics for you today, besides having the situation that now the news drought started. The best for me just asks, so you won't react to chat often? No, I'm going to react to chat. But it depends what I'm showing at the moment. So I will be trying to pay attention and react to chat as quickly as I can. So if you want to chime in with comments or questions, feel free to do so. And yeah, topics for today. Let me switch scenes. Okay. Will be that there are updated rumors on Apple switching to USB-C for more and more of their devices. Then there is a new rumor for the upcoming Mac Pro processors SKU. So a SKU is basically the a product variant, you can say. So you have in Apple's case, you have the main processor line M1, M2, and then you have the variations of M1, M1 Pro, M1 Max, M1 Ultra. So that's a lineup that we have on M1 right now. For M2, there's only the M2 at the moment. And so there is now a rumor for the new Mac Pro that there will be an M2 Extreme. We'll be talking about that. Then we have some updates in regards to VR headsets, the Pico Neo and the MetaQuest 2. Then the next topic will be some news from Indonesia that they are blocking some major services like Google, Amazon, I think even Apple, Steam. So it's quite a big step that Indonesia took there. And then we're going to discuss a topic of third-party cookies, which if you are a web developer, you should be paying attention to. The best for me writes crazy name, that extreme. I think it won't be that extreme of a name. I'm not sure, because we already have Pro, Max, Ultra. So there needs to be so it's I could imagine that it is extreme. I really could imagine. Yeah. The CPU naming scheme from Apple is a bit weird at the moment. I would have done it differently. There are way better schemas to use for that. Yeah, there is no Ultra yet, but there is an M1 Ultra, and it will be, and you can bet on it that the same tiers, so Pro, Max, Ultra, will be existing on the M2 as well. And yeah, and we're going to close out the topics for today with a study discussing that judges are now starting to cite Wikipedia in rulings. And that's, in my humble opinion, something very questionable to do. And yeah, so let's dive right in into the first topic, which is Apple finally ditching Lightning. That the iPhone is getting a USB-C update was already long rumored, even before the EU ruling, but now they have to do anyway, and so Apple is now rumored to change the iPhone to USB Type-C by next year, so by the iPhone 15. So this year's version will be the iPhone 14, and the iPhone 15 will be then USB Type-C. I, of course, would hope that they already do it with the 14, but you never know. I think the deadline for that is 2024 for the EU. And so the other product lines that now are rumored to get the treatment as well is the entry-level iPad, so the iPad Air and the normal, not the iPad Air, the iPad Mini and the iPad, or does the iPad Mini already? I'm not sure right now, but basically the whole iPad lineup will be moved to USB-C connectors as well, which will be mandated by the EU regulations, and also the AirPods charger will be changed to the case will be changed to USB Type-C. And we have the MagSafe battery pack, which you can also charge via Lightning at the moment, so you can that will be changed as well. And also there is a rumor that the Magic Mouse, Magic Trackpad, and Magic Keyboard will also be changed to USB Type-C. The best for me, as I think just the pros just have just USB-C until now. I am not. Wait a second. I have to check actually, because the iPad Air, when it got the design update, I think they've switched it to USB Type-C, and the so the Air definitely has it now because it also got switched to the M1 as well last year or earlier this year. And since the Mini also got the design update, I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, correct. So it's basically everything except the iPad without a suffix that has that has not the USB-C update yet. So, but what I really find interesting that Apple is now planning to update the peripherals to USB Type-C, and I hope they finally fix the Magic Mouse. The keyboard is awesome. I am actually using the current Apple keyboard for my use here, and it's really awesome. Especially since with the M1 you get the Touch ID sensor. This is something I have been waiting for years. And so the only peripheral that really is an issue is the Magic Mouse at the moment, because you cannot charge it while using, and basically every other mouse brand allows you to charge from the front while using the mouse. So I'm, for example, using a MX Master 3 right now, and it's I can charge it while using, and yeah. Yeah, you're of course right. The best for me. You're right. That Magic Mouse isn't that broken, plug it in, go to the restroom, and continue working until you can plug it in overnight. The batteries charge pretty quick, and the device itself is energy efficient. Yeah, I can attest to that. I am using the Magic Mouse for work all the time, but it's a minor gripe about the device. I personally like the overall haptics of it, but of course there is the point with the charging, and I understand people who are really complaining about that. And since the complaint is there and it's valid, yeah, of course, first world problems, and still I would love to see that fixed, because then I think the Magic Mouse would be one really top tier device with not many complaints, except some people have problems with the haptics regarding how you have to grab it and the touch surface, but that's, yeah, personal preference overall. Yeah, so that's the update in regards to all the USB-C changes that are upcoming. So if Apple follows through with that, you can expect that the whole Apple lineup will be USB-C powered, probably by next year. So that's they are compliant for 2024 when the EU enforces the USB-C standard as the standard phone and tablet and electronic device plug. Then, as teased earlier, we have the story in regards to the M2 Extreme chip, which is headed to the Mac Pro. And the specs that they are listing here are pretty nuts. I am just going to read those two paragraphs here for those listening to the audio version. And of course, you can get all the articles on my blog, bnonet.com, or you find the link to the show notes in the description of the episode. So this article at Mac Rumors reads, according to Gunman, users will reportedly be able to configure the new Mac Pro with M2 Ultra and M2 Extreme chip options. At present, the M1 Ultra is Apple's most powerful custom silicon chip available, featuring a 20-core CPU and up to 64-core GPU, along with a 32-core neural engine. Setting above the Ultra in the chip lineup, the M2 Extreme would presumably surpass these specs to become the top-tier Apple Silicon chip for maximum performance. Gunman previously said that Apple was planning to use a custom silicon chip with 40 CPU cores, including 32 high-performance cores and up to 128 GPU cores for the Mac Pro. This would surpass the 28-core maximum offered by the current Intel-based Mac Pro and replace powerful graphics chips made by AMD. And with the improvements that in reviews have been reported for the M2 graphics, that could be a beast in regards to GPU power. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the M1 Pro, M2 Pro, and M2 Ultra, M2 Pro and M2 Max will be doing. So I'm streaming this podcast currently from a 2021 MacBook Pro with an M1 Max, and seriously, at the moment, the higher CPU options would be overkill for what I'm doing. So having those gains in the for the M2 already is quite a bit, but I don't expect to see updated MacBook Pros with the M2 Pro and M2 Max till early next year, or yeah. So I don't expect them to be released this fall, because Apple put always a bit of spacing between the different tiers, and yeah, will be interesting to see if those rumors in regarding to the new Mac Pro pan out. Yeah, I am. The best for me, right? My potato has an i5 4250U. Yeah, I am using a Mac due to myself being a software developer and doing app development, and I've been a Mac user for 17 years now. So you're running a MacBook Air from mid 2013. Yeah, I actually have still a MacBook Pro from 15 from early 2012 flying around here somewhere, which I am all since years planning to replace a logic board. Because the Wi-Fi board connector ripped off the board at some point. So yeah, then let's get to the next topic, which is a joint topic. I'm just discussing this. What did it do now? Okay. Now we're back where we have to be. So this is a joint topic. In regards to VR headset updates, there has been spotted a FCC filing in the US for updated headset from Pico, so the Pico Neo probably. We discussed the Pico Neo 3 in earlier episodes of the podcast as a good alternative for the MetaQuest 2, and to see that Pico is now already investing into updated headsets is a good thing to see. And the Pico Neo 3 Link, I think it's called, is I think becoming more and more an option, since Meta now announced that they will be increasing the price of the MetaQuest 2 by $100. And the Pico Neo 3 Link was already competitive with the larger storage option of the MetaQuest 2, when you also get the deluxe head strap. And yeah, basically now you're basically getting much more for basically also a lower price. So that's a nice thing to see, that there is now competition. Question, of course, in the current environment is if Pico has to doesn't have to increase the prices themselves as well. So yeah, we will have to wait and see. But it would be nice to see that Meta is getting a bit more pressure from the competition if they were able to hold the lower price for longer than Meta does. But basically the price increase for the MetaQuest 2 was a result of the first drop of earnings in Meta's history, basically, in the last quarter. So they have to compensate that quite a bit, and since you can expect that Meta is subsidizing the headsets quite a bit, you can expect that this is the reason for the price change, besides just cost increases. Yeah, and at the moment, you can still get stock at the old prices of the Quest 2. So if you want to get into VR, the Quest 2 is currently still the cheapest option. Even here in Germany, you cannot officially order it since it's banned by Facebook, basically, because they said, no, we don't sell our product in Germany anymore, due to the data privacy laws that got enforced. And you can still get the Quest 2 from Amazon France or Italy, and you still have full warranty and so on and so forth, if you get it through those channels. And next up, the articles that I just referenced to the updates for the headset VR headsets were both from Road to VR. Now we're getting to an article from Engadget about Indonesia blocking Steam, PayPal, and other services. I think even Amazon was also blocked, and Valve Steam was blocked as well. And this is due to a new law, which is called MR5. And there was basically the rule that companies that want to do business in Indonesia have to register per this law till July 31st, or at the end of the month. And yeah, now they enforced this by blocking those services that I did not register. Amazon, Google, Meta basically rushed in last minute and put in their requests on Friday, and basically are getting unbanned shortly. And of course, something like a law like this, which also gets into the whole rights discussion. This article here cites the Electronic Frontier Foundation. I read that paragraph quickly. Organizations like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and Human Rights Watch have criticized Indonesia's new content moderation rules, MR5, as a tool for censorship that imposes unrealistic burdens on the many digital services and platforms that are used in Indonesia, said Lina Lakhadir, Asia legal advisor at Human Rights Watch. It poses serious risk to the privacy, freedom of speech, and access to information of Indonesian internet users. Not to say the economic impact that random blocking of major services like Google, Amazon, and so on could have on Indonesian businesses who are running on the infrastructure of these companies. So if you're blocking their IP ranges, you're basically killing companies in your own country. And putting more economic pressure on your own country for stuff like this in the current situation is not the best idea, I think. So I wanted to talk about this because this is just one example. Yeah, we are now getting in the EU similar stuff with the whole chat monitoring laws that were passed and or that are planned. I think they are not passed yet, but they are in the last stages of being passed into EU law, and that's not nice. So basically, your conversations that you do digitally, even if they are encrypted, are no longer safe. So you would have to create your own self-hosted network with friends to communicate, where you have full control over, and then you can be safe. But yeah, that's the only solution that you have then. And yeah, data privacy is getting more and more of an issue, and states and legislatures want to get more and more for various reasons into private communications. And I have voiced strong opinions against that, breaking encryptions, creating loopholes for state actors can also be misused by other parties, even if they're not intended to be used that way. And yeah, so that's a huge problem, and we all as internet users have to fight against those rules that because yeah, getting criminals caught is an important thing, and also to make sure that no crimes are done via internet service is important. But individual privacy is still also important, and it's there isn't a Postal Secrecy Act for no reason. So it's and it's, for me, it's the same with my digital communications. If I decide to use an encrypted service so that my communication is private, I don't want to have a third party reading my communications, which is completely putting the concept of an encrypted messaging service completely obsolete. And yeah, so another situation with this service blocking that we have to watch in the future. Next up, we have the news that Google is pushing back the phase out of third-party cookies from Chrome to 2024. I think it was planned originally for this year. It got pushed back to next year, and now I think it's pushed back to 2024. And I am bringing up this topic because a lot of web developers, or developers in general, because even if you're a mobile developer or a desktop application developer, if you're working with third-party services that use web technologies, you might be running into this problem. And this is a known thing since March of 2020. And it's, even till today, even developer teams in large companies don't know about the situation. because this situation with the third-party cookies already applies for all iOS devices, no matter what browser you're using, because they are all using the Safari engine as the engine. So because of Apple's rules that there is no other browser engine allowed, which will probably be discarded due to updated regulations soon, but nevertheless, it's still the case at the moment. So if you're developing for current devices, you have to take that into account. And this is a problem a lot of the time when you are working with iframes, for example, and where basically you have to exchange cookies between different domains, and Safari already is handling this very strict. So if they are not from the same domain, Safari says, yo, this is not a legitimate source for this action, and the action will be blocked. And of course, most people who are doing web development, they're currently testing primarily on Chrome, Chromium-based browsers, and Firefox. And Safari is often neglected, and then people suddenly find out when they test their site on an iDevice, oh, the site is not working correctly. And so Mozilla is also working on the same thing. So all major browser engine providers want to implement third-party cookie blocking, and it's better to start improving your applications today than next year when so I think that's also the primary reason why Google is not doing this at the moment. But we can actually read what's they write here in the article on Engadget. They quote Google. The most consistent feedback we've received is the need for more time to evaluate and test the new privacy sandbox technologies before deprecating third-party cookies in Chrome, said Anthony Chavez, Google's vice president of Privacy Sandbox. The feedback aligns with our commitment to the CMA to ensure that the Privacy Sandbox provides effective privacy preserving technologies, and the industry has sufficient time to adopt those new solutions. Yeah, basically, that's exactly what I said earlier. It's companies did not work on this in advance, and because there are different ways you can just implement your solutions. It doesn't have to be a new mechanism on Google's end. You can use other ways of implementation, and you would be already fine without waiting for Google to do stuff. And yeah, so it's, in my opinion, it's good for developers to know that this is an issue, and this will be a bigger issue in the next few years. And lastly, we have this article also on Engadget. Study finds judges are increasingly citing Wikipedia in legal decisions. So this, I'm not going really into this whole article. If you're interested in it, you will find it in the show notes on my blog, BNOTECHCAST, or in the episode description. Why I wanted to discuss this is using Wikipedia as a source of truth, which is the requirement, in my opinion, for use in a legal context, is highly questionable. If not, yeah, I'm missing the right word right now. The problem with Wikipedia is this is a highly volatile platform. And yes, there are also bad actors on Wikipedia. And you can edit pages basically on a whim. And this bears the risk of manipulation for court trials. And that's not a good thing. We already have enough legal issues as it stands right now. And now building court rulings based on Wikipedia articles is really opening Pandora's box in regards to legal rulings. Because you can write in those articles anything. You can, before this gets submitted to a judge, you could change it up. I'm not even sure if a judge would know how to look into the changelog of a Wikipedia page and decipher what has changed. And there might be people who would be tech savvy enough for that. But I doubt that will be a lot of judges. And yeah, this is a big problem in my mind. When I even think back to my own study time, our professors, they all told us, don't use Wikipedia as a single source of truth. And this has not changed till today. Yeah, it is easy when you have to look something up for private or even commercial use, and most of the time it doesn't matter. But a court ruling is so sensitive matter that you should build something like a ruling on something that is a source that is as truthful as possible. Of course, you can still get bad material and you can get ruling based on bad informations. You're not spared that in any way, even when you're not using Wikipedia and use just normal encyclopedias. But having a live editable platform like Wikipedia work as a source of truth for court ruling is just going to have issues down the road, and will lead to bad things happening. And yeah, is highly questionable. And I can only tell everyone, Wikipedia is an amazing tool, but it's not the end of all means. It's always good to do some additional research, get additional sources, and yeah, therefore that's actually everything I have to say on that matter. So it's I don't really know what to say. It's our justice systems at the moment, they are it seems like they're all highly questionable at the moment. in my opinion. Yeah, and that's it in regards to topics I wanted to talk about today. So we are going to close the recording in a moment. But if you're watching the live stream, feel free to remain in, and I'll remain for a few more minutes if you want to do a Q&A. And before I go to editing the version for the audio release later today. So let me quickly do the formal outro for the episode. Where is it? Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the topics and discussions. We will be back with episode number 25 on August 14th. The podcast version of our show is always made available the same day of the live stream at 8:30 p.m. CEST via our syndication partner Spreaker. In case the long-form content does not suit you, there are releases of episode segments on YouTube every 2 days. So you can pick and choose the topics you would like to listen to. For the show notes and written content, check out my blog at bnonet.com. And if you want to keep in touch, follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/bnoffer or join my Discord. And of course, feel free to join the live stream every second Sunday at 2 p.m. CEST, either on YouTube or Twitch. And if you want to support this show, consider following on Twitch as well as subscribing and liking on YouTube. This will help us get traction with the algorithms. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and have a great day, everyone. So that was a formal recording. Let me put on the music again in the background. And yeah, if you have comments, questions, hit me up. The best for me just writes, I just logged into my Google account with my old iMac G5. Google, thank you for logging into your Google account with your new Mac. Yeah, that's something. That's something, yes. Yeah. So I hope the topics that I was discussing today were interesting to you. Yeah, Google is funny sometimes. That's true. So it's weird what is going on in regards to legal stuff in the moment in the world right now. Not only judges, but laws, and the whole world is going crazy. So yeah. If you guys have questions, feel free. The best for me just asked, do you still use Windows or are you completely Mac only? or do you maybe use some Linux? So I am basically, you could say, platform agnostic. I am using my Mac. So my primary device for doing all my daily stuff is my MacBook Pro, but I have I have two Windows gaming PCs. One I'm considering to change to Linux, because there is a project called, I can actually put that up quickly so you can see that, because there is actually a project that is porting the current state of SteamOS to PC. This is called Holo ISO, and it is working on basically AMD GPU systems and Intel GPU systems. So that's want to try this on my main machine, and I have a LAN PC / VR PC in my living room, which is also running Windows at the moment, which will remain on Windows due to my Pimax headset not being supported on Linux. But there is efforts in the OpenXR project to support the Pimax headsets as well, and then I could also imagine switching there as well. But definitely, I have been considering switching to Linux for a long time, and if the Holo ISO image works well, I think that would be the nicest solution, because having the same software support directly baked into the system as on the Steam Deck, that would be really, really nice. SteamOS is SteamOS 3 is Arch based, so the OS that Valve is using on the Steam Deck. Give me a sec. So basically, there is an older version of SteamOS that was Debian based, and with the Steam Deck, so this lovely device, Valve has released SteamOS, which is this UI for the game mode, and you can also, by going to power, switch to desktop, so you can actually switch to the desktop mode, and then you have basically a normal KDE Plasma desktop UI. And the Steam Deck is fully AMD based, so you have an Zen 2 CPU and RDNA 2 GPU, and that allows you basically to run everything that you would normally run on Steam with the help of Proton. And and that's tightly integrated into the system with SteamOS, and therefore I am really interested to try out the basically the modded ISO. Basically, Valve has announced that they will be releasing SteamOS 3 for PC as well, but sorry for the no, I'm not really partner of Pimax. Oh. So I'm just an affiliate, basically, through their affiliate program, and yeah, so I don't have any influence about with that, and but I have to say Pimax has been very supportive in the past 2 months, and I am very happy with their products and their support, actually. And yeah, so that's the story about the Holo ISO and SteamOS. So this is and I will be probably also making a video about that on my main YouTube channel. I have still to make my visually impaired reviewing the Steam Deck video as well. I did not get around to that till now as well, and I'm currently also waiting for my repaired sword controller from Pimax, or not repaired, but the replacement one, because the outer ring got a bit loose, and I wanted to put their service, so their support and the whole service process feedback also into the video for that as well, because the first impressions video from the sword controllers, that got quite a few clicks, and I wanted to do now a basically 4-month usage update / review of the controllers, since there also were some software tweaks. And the same also goes for SteamOS. There is Valve is heavily updating the system at the moment, so there are frequent software updates, especially so I'm running my Steam Deck on the beta branch, which is really getting frequent updates, and I can imagine that Valve is only releasing SteamOS once they have ironed out the kinks on the Steam Deck and everything is working properly there, which I can understand, and which I also support. First, get your main product working as intended before you try supporting other products. It's the same approach that you're taking with Windows on the Steam Deck, and yeah, it's but basically my machines that I have here, my 2 gaming systems, they are both all AMD rigs. So my main gaming PC that I have here in the office next to me is a 3800X, so also Zen 2 with an 6800 XT, and so it should work without an issue because it's basically the same architectures, and yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing SteamOS on the desktop, and they made quite a few improvements. I can actually show that on the Holo ISO. When I go to the release here, so the latest update has now a full Plasma based desktop environment and a GUI installer, so you don't have to use the command line anymore for installing the whole thing. So this is basically already getting as close as it gets to a proper SteamOS release. But okay, of course it has limitations. So of course NVIDIA GPUs are not supported at the moment, and Intel GPUs you need to do some changes to game scope, and yeah. But with an AMD GPU, it should install and work just fine. The installation instructions here are still for the old release, I think. And here you can basically see it. Here they're running it on a notebook, even with the 5300U. Also on an APU, so it even seems to be working on notebooks without an issue. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. 2070 is not a bad card. You can basically, run any game with it. So that's not a problem. What I used, what I tried before, how was it called again? So if you want to get a Linux experience that is also Arch based, that still has a lot of creature comforts. Let me see if I could find that quickly. I don't remember the name anymore. I hope I have still the file on my system. Also, Linux distribution that I wanted to try out, which I also still did not check out, is Nitrox OS, which is also pretty interesting. The one that, if you want to go Arch based, where is it? I have so much crap on here. I definitely have to clean out my downloads folder. I definitely have the wrong name in my head right now. Because it definitely was not Elementary OS. That's something different. But it could also be that I don't have that image stored here anymore. But I'm definitely a data hoarder, so I don't remember what it was, and I can't find it right now. If you have issues like that, also, I don't know if you're using the official link cable from Oculus, or if you're using a third-party one. It could help if you're using a third-party one to switch the link cable. So I have heard that the link cable is often the culprit. Official one, okay. Yeah, I have switched from an Rift last year, from a Rift Oculus Rift S to the Pimax 5K Super that I'm using for my VR streams at the moment, and I am not regretting that upgrade. I would have upgraded to the Valve Index, but due to availability issues, which were going on for quite a few months afterwards, I stuck with the I got the Pimax basically for the same price. Oh yeah, 36 FPS is really low. Yeah, of course you could also well, okay, but if you want to play modded PC VR is your only option for that. But you could of course play Beat Saber on the Quest 2 directly. Why isn't the chat on? Ah, it's on. Okay. Yeah, but basically the for VR. So if you can play with 36 FPS, you are lucky. I know, or the common rule is for VR you should have at least a constant above 70 FPS, better 90. That's why all the modern headsets are all targeting 90 FPS as so 90 hertz, and yeah, so that should be the target. The 2070 should be capable of doing that without an issue. What you could try actually, now that I'm thinking about it, try different USB ports, because your USB controller, depending on how your USB ports are mapped on your motherboard, yeah, so as I said, you're lucky when you can play with 15 FPS in VR. Yeah, but what could be is that also depending on which port or USB port on your motherboard you are connecting the Quest, that could also be causing the issue. If it's so, it helps testing the ports that you're using, and making sure that perhaps the Quest is hanging on a port that has basically its dedicated controller, and then that should alleviate a lot of the bottleneck. But what CPU are you running in that VR system? That should be sufficient. At the moment you're connected to the PCI Express one. Yeah, I would try connecting it directly to the motherboard. Directly to the motherboard. Could be the issue. Yeah, I can imagine that you don't have this limitation on the Vive, because the Vive connects with its own DisplayPort cable to the GPU, and basically the Quest sends display and everything else through a compressed USB signal, and USB display can be tricky, and that's a known thing. So there is probably, if you Google the issue, you will probably find a lot of people who have the same troubles with the Quest 2, and so also what can help is also updating drivers so that you have all the latest drivers for the USB hardware and so on. that can also help sometimes. So that's why I, for myself, for example, would not get the Quest 2, because I hate stuff like display through USB and so yeah, that's I think, for example, the Pico Neo 3 link that I mentioned earlier, I think it has, let me check. Pico Neo 3 link. No, that's not the one. Huh? But basically it's the same. It's the same headset. Doesn't matter. It's just renamed for the consumer sector to Link in Europe and the US. Yeah. So for example, the Pico Neo has also it connects through DisplayPort. So you can use it standalone, but you can also connect it via DisplayPort, which has which basically doesn't have that issue that you're facing right now with using USB compression. Yeah, I can imagine that USB, as an awesome technology as it is, can be tricky. USB can be tricky. And yeah. Okay, then I would say we close it down for today. So also, thank you very much for watching, everyone. And I wish every one of you a nice rest of your Sunday. And if you want to be updated in regards to schedule updates, once I know how my schedule will be for, especially for the VR streams and other game streams, especially now that Star Citizen Alpha 3.17.2 got released. I want to revisit that as well after I finally did a quick clean install of the game. And so I don't know the schedule yet. We have to see. So the only stream that I can point you right now with confidence will be the next podcast recording in 2 weeks on the 14th at 2 p.m. CST. You can actually, if you want, the best for me, you can join my Discord, and you can hit me up when I'm online, or we can just chat on Discord. That's not a problem. There's a link to the Discord, so feel free to come in and join, and we can you're already there. Okay. And we can then chat anytime when you, or you can just write me a question and I can follow up. That's not a problem. Yeah. just realized I forgot to check PhantomBot, but it seemed to have worked today. Nice. Yeah, as you can see. Okay, that's you. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that's a nice thing. I have connected the Discord also to Restream, so even if you're you can even participate in a live chat even if you're not watching the stream. You can just do it via Discord. I found that a nice feature, and if someone wants to look something up that was mentioned in chat, you can just do that. So it's basically a running log of the live chat as well. I really like that functionality, so it's pretty nice. Okay, then I wish everyone a nice rest of your Sunday, and I'll keep you updated on Twitter and Discord once I know what the new updated schedule will be for August. So, have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.